Hello, my name's Tony Pankew. I'm a public artist, but I'm really an artist. I'm just a term public artist. I actually started out doing printmaking back in '76 and continued that for most of my life until 1990s. Then I started doing sculpture again, and that's all I've been doing. I have around 50 artworks out, big and small, in the country. My inspiration comes from the brief. So when I'm working, I get a brief from the client, say, like with Stirling. I did one 2 years ago for Stirling, and the brief was about the community, and so I worked on a sculpture that had 3 circles, which I called portals, and it showed each part of the community, like the park, wet in like the ocean, and the kids who use the park, or the residents. And then other sculptures, like the one behind me, was about the ocean and looking out into the ocean so that you could frame it. It's a seaweedy, it's like a bit of coral or seaweed thing that you'd find at the bottom of the ocean. So that was the inspiration for that one. And then they're all different. My practice is basically, I start from the drawing, from the brief, and work through everything to the very end. So I don't ship anything out, everything is made here. The only thing I do get made outside is the powder coating, and my friends up the road, Ian and Jan, Design Edge, they do the cutting for me, which is the outside shapes, and they water jet cut everything for me before I start, but I give them the drawings, and that's it really. Then I just make the sculptures. I became an artist because I went to art school, and that's all I could do. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I just knew I was good at art, and then the guidance officer said you should go and to wait and have a chat with the artists there, and I did what she said, and that made the history basically. So a good a good counsellor makes a big difference, I think. Then I went to Melbourne with the Keo. He's a famous sculptor. He sculpts in stone, and we both went to the BCA. So he stayed and I came back. So and then I've just been teaching. I was teaching for a few years, still doing art, and then full-time. Part-time jobs, but now it's just full-time all the time. I think each time you put something in, it becomes a highlight until the next job comes along. But some of them I really enjoyed the one at Stirling, because I live in Stirling, and I thought, why haven't I made a sculpture for Stirling? And then I got it, so I thought, that's great, I'll make a really great one for Stirling. And then I made a huge tree, Settlers Hills. Plan E took it on. I'd actually designed the tree for a school, which was going to be 4 metres high, and they wanted it 10 metres high, so it was massive, and it was huge, and it was on top of a hill, and we had to have huge crane, and people were up at 6 metres climbing up ropes to bid it, and we did it. And when we look back at it, we just go, wow. So I think that was a bit of a highlight. For new up-and-coming artists, I think it's really important to join a group of other artists who are like-minded. So when I started out, we had an organisation called the Printmakers Association. Before I did sculpture, or changed to sculpture, I was a member of the Printmakers Association, and they had exhibitions each year. And as a committee group, you learnt things, and then we needed equipment, and I met more artists and gained experience about setting up exhibitions, catalogues, pricing, who to talk to. I spent too much time doing other jobs. I should have maybe focused more quickly on doing art more full time than doing the odd jobs that I was doing to do stuff. It took my wife to say, you should do this more seriously, and that's what we did, and here we are. So 20 years down the track,